Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Governor Phil Bryant with a warm Jerusalem welcome.
Talk to you. So we were in Washington, D.C. at a Royal Commonwealth Society event, and I met Joel and Natasha, and they said, you know, we're going to do this thing in Jerusalem. I said, I know Jerusalem. This is my fourth visit here. Fourth. Yeah. I think I have the record. If I've been here more than any governor in the United States, and if that's not true, it ought to be. So if you saw from the video what we have going in Mississippi, and one of the reasons I came here first in 2013 is an Israeli state of mind. You know, we saw the startup nation and said, we can do that. Mississippi and Israel's not much difference. It was about the same size. I said, we're going to go to Israel. We're going to find out what's going on there, because if they can do it under all of the circumstances that they've had to face. I was just reading Thou Shalt Innovate. If you haven't read that book, it's wonderful. And I'm sure the stewardess is going to love it, because I left it on the airplane, one of the last stops. So I hope she'll read that. Or the flight attendant. Let me get that one straight, too. But Thou Shalt Innovate is so encouraging to hear those individual stories of individual greatness. But at every time during one of the chapters, it would say that a leader would come in, and Ben Gurion would say, if we can't do this, we just won't make it as a nation. If we can't find this water problem, find a solution to this, we're just not going to make it. If we can't defend ourselves in this very troubling region, we won't be able to make it. And every time it was almost we won't make it, and every time you did. That's an amazing history. Since 1948, and if you look back, as I was told yesterday by our Consul General, Harry Truman declared Israel, recognized Israel as a nation 11 minutes after it was announced here in Israel, here in the capital in Jerusalem, here where the United States Embassy is now located. So, Joe said, we'll let you come and speak, and I said, wonderful. You know, I know with my dialect, you ought to be able to understand it. And I hope all of you will go to America one day speaking English like I do. So you can come to Mississippi and go, how y'all? And everybody's going to go, well, great. Yeah, you're from Jerusalem, aren't you? Yeah, recognize the accent. So Mississippi works. So when he told me I could speak, I said, absolutely. And I decided we'd bring a team with us. So everybody from Mississippi, my team, our delegation, stand up and let everybody get a look at you. There you go. Yeah. So if you need to know something about Mississippi, you need ships, you need to find out about economic development or anything else, how to get there, directions to the airport, our guys can help you do that. He also said I could show you about Mississippi winning. That I'm going to do that. I've done it around the world, and I want to do it again here in Jerusalem. So let's see what we're doing. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about it. Everybody knows where Mississippi's at, because when I go around the world, they go, oh, yeah, the river, Huck Finn. Tom Sawyer. Well, that was kind of up a little north of us, but so you see the population's about 3 million. We are growing every year. We're about to do the census. Labor force is about 1.28 million people. About 56 to 58% of everyone that's working there is working. I said when I was became governor, my first job is to make sure that everyone that wants a job has one. Now, I've amended that a little bit. I want them to have a job even if they don't want one. So we are going out and finding people that are not working and putting them to work. And so our exports all around the world now in 2017, 11.2 billion. That is such a tremendous rise from where we're at, because we found friends all over the world that want to buy Mississippi products. And one of the things that we do, not only in Mississippi, but the Southern culture, is to make sure that we not only take an opportunity to grow from the markets that we see around the world, but help those markets grow. What products do you have that we can bring to America? That we can find a warehouse for you, that we can find a sales force for you, so that we can make sure that we use that Mississippi River to get your products, if you're a manufacturer, into the heartlands of America. We want to give something back. Our domestic product, about $95.2 billion in 2016. So we're number one for the cost of living. So if you want to come to Mississippi, we were talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and he said, you know, we're looking at an expense of about $600,000. $600,000 in Mississippi is a 5-bedroom house on the water. So it's the lowest cost of living there. In fact, if you make $100 across the nation, in Mississippi, that $100 would be worth $118. In Washington, D.C., if you have to live there, it's worth $88. In New York, it's worth $86. Don't go to New York. Number 8 for doing business, we'll skip down. You can see some of them, not top 10 leading workforce in America. As you saw them on the video, those men and women are the men and women that built America. They're one generation from the farm. Their mothers and fathers were working 15, 16 hours a day to try to bring in a crop. So now we go and get them and say, how would you like to be in an air-conditioning building and making the most advanced automobiles in the world, or working for Raytheon and making the highest technology radar known to man, or building warships in Pascagoula, Mississippi? Yeah, that sounds like a heck of an idea to me, they say, and they come to work for us. And that's when we've got the top 10 business work and climate in America and top 10 workforce. So what do we got? Highways, transportation. You see 6 interstates, ports, 2 deep water ports, and along the Mississippi Gulf Coast, so we're bringing products in and out of the canal on a pretty regular basis. Railroads, we believe in railroads in Mississippi. A lot of states gave up on them. They said those railroads are a thing of the past. We said, we'll just hang on to ours. Thank you very much. We'll improve them. And so now we're getting from Gulfport to the rail to all across America as quickly as we can, and from our 7 commercial airports and 2,000 general aviation ports. So we've been working with Israel for some time. As I said, we came here in 2013. One of the reasons I came here not only was to develop our businesses that you see there that are Stark Aerospace, Blower, Banktail, Jerry Care, others. Not only were we doing that, but you might remember in 2013, the administration at that time didn't seem to be supporting Israel as we had in the past. The United States seemed to be fading away from that undeniable support and relationship that we have with Israel. I said, I'm going to Israel. I want to make sure that they know from a governor, and other governors should follow me, and they have. I understand that the governor of Louisiana was just in a couple of weeks ago, and they're coming to Israel so that they will tell you in the heartlands of America where we live, not in California, not New York. We're not mad at those folks. But if you go to Los Angeles or you go to New York and you say, oh, I've been to America, it's a little different. So the heartland of America, particularly the Southeast, is growing so fast. I wanted to come and say we support Israel. We understand that so goes Israel, so goes America. So we came here also with your great ambassador and the great companies that represent us. Yeah, we have a pretty strong, fairly strong, no, we have a very strong defense industry in the state of Mississippi. We like defending America. We like giving our war fighters the most advanced, the most modern, the most effective warfighting machines, because we think there's peace through strength. You see here the Homeland Security, Defense and Security Systems. So we make about 3 different UAVs across the state of Mississippi, and the Israel government business delegation visited there for our Homeland Defense and Security Summit in March of 2018 on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. It was filled with those from all over the world, 16 Israeli companies and defense securities. So another summit is planned March 25th and 26th. Go ahead and put that on your calendar. You can pull your iPhone out and put it in right now. So you can come to the beautiful Mississippi Gulf Coast and see our then will be our Homeland Security and Defense Summit there at March 25th and 26th of 2019. Yeah, we've got good friends over here. I hope to visit with the Prime Minister perhaps one day this week. We're working out the details with his office. I hear he's a little busy. Someone was talking at lunch, and they said, well, it's a little challenging time in sort of the political dynamic in Israel. And I said, yeah, unlike the United States. Yeah, our political dynamic right now is so calm. Everyone's loving each other. Now, there's been midterm elections, and the House of Representatives will be represented and controlled by a different party than is the President of the United States Senate. We'll see how that works out. We'll see how Donald and Nancy's really going to get along. So I enjoy meeting with your Prime Minister. This is Stark Aerospace in Columbus, Mississippi, where we're making those large containers that you see there that will hold the surface-to-air missiles that will continue to protect the homeland here in Israel. We are very proud as we cut the ribbon about a month ago. You see a couple of United States congressmen there. Everyone is beaming and smiling because we are proud to be a part of the system with Israeli Air International that helps protect Israel. We're going to expand that every opportunity we get. International trade, you heard a little bit earlier about it, 2017, about $57.5 million a year over the last 20 years. With Israel, that trade has been $544 million. $544 million. As we like to say, $1 million here, $1 million there. Pretty soon you're talking about real money. This is a strong relationship that we have and is growing. So we hope to expand some of the companies that you see. This Aerospace and Defense, jet engine testing, radar systems, unmanned helicopters, and UAV systems. 120 aerospace OEMs in the state of Mississippi. 8,000 skilled, reliable employees are working for the aerospace industry in the state of Mississippi. I show you these slides, and I tell you this because I've never done a presentation and people didn't come up, including when I'm doing it in Mississippi, and say, "Where'd you get that? I'd never heard that before." No, you don't. I know there's some media here today, and we love the media, but you just normally don't cover airplanes that land safely. But let something go wrong, and oh my goodness, there it goes again. Mississippi's just in trouble. We're not. We're doing great. We're enjoying every minute of it. So our Mississippi State University is the Center for Advanced Excellence, the Center for UAS systems across America. The Federal Aviation Administration said we've got to find one university in America that has the intellectual property, the ability to do all of the research with UAVs and UASs, so we'll know what our unmanned systems will look like going forward. How many will they be? Who will be able to use them? How high will they fly? What type of fuel will we allow them to be used? All of that's being determined at the Mississippi State University. The university is doing all that work. Now, we allowed about 50 other universities to come help us. You know, we share occasionally. But the center of that, if you look at the entire nation, the center of that's in Starkville, Mississippi, the Mississippi State Universities. Everyone's going to have a UAV, a UAS. It's going to be part of our life. It's going to be just like your iPhone. There'll be immeasurable uses for it. I just saw one the other day that the United States military is using to be able to get forward military supplies, health care supplies, medical supplies into a combat zone, into an area that's needed. You've heard it talk about Amazon. They'll be delivering pizzas before long. A few UAVs here, Israeli aerospace industry, the Hunter and Heron. So the Northrop Grumman, the Global Hawk, and Eurohawk, all of these are manufactured or assembled portions of in Mississippi. Aurora Flight Service, the Orion, General Atomics, the Predator. I just saw this morning where there are new opportunities for those sales with our friends in Australia. I think I can say that publicly. If not, I didn't say it. I think Australia is going to buy some General Atomic Predators or Raptors, and we are so very proud to help with that assembly. Raytheon Iron Dome is there because of the advanced radar systems at Raytheon. We're so very proud of that. I tell everyone I get close to, if you look at David Sling and Iron Dome, it's because of Forest, Mississippi, and the manufacturing is going on there at Raytheon. Just the other day, we expanded. We added on, this is the third expansion there. They are making the new SPY-6 radar systems. I remember telling the CEO, you know, the acronyms that they use were normally put together by engineers, and I hope there's some engineers here because y'all do really good at acronyms because nobody can understand what you're talking about. So I said, you ought to come up with some cool names. Well, this next SPY-6. Oh, yeah, I want a SPY-6. So we're going to take those 20-ton radar systems and put them on the ships that are made by these men here at Ingalls in Pascagoula, Mississippi, just down the road about 90 miles. So you make the most advanced radar system. Let me tell you how this system works. If you had your ship, your destroyer parked in Boston Harbor, you could see a basketball in the air at Forest, Mississippi. That's radar. Yeah, that is advanced radar systems, and we're very proud to be able to make those right there in Forest, Mississippi. Northrop Grumman, another great friend of ours in Moss Point, Mississippi. Again, the Fire Scout, the Global Hawk, making the sub-assembly for the F-35. So every time you see an F-35, you can think about Mississippi because the sub-assembly, the structure to the under portion of that plane, manufactured there in Moss Point, Mississippi, because Mississippi works. Ingalls. We are so very proud to be ship makers. In fact, I think we're the best ship makers in the world. Today, 70% of the combat vessels being sailed by the United States Navy, 70% were manufactured in Pascagoula, Mississippi by Ingalls Shipyard. Pretty amazing. I tell that back home when people come up and say, again, I never heard of that. Well, of course you haven't, but you just did. The greatest warships in the world by the greatest, I think, warship builders in the world are right there at Huntington Ingalls in Mississippi. Universities, we've got 3 research universities. Wonderful. At Mississippi State University in the center, as you see, is our Center for Advanced Vehicular Studies and the Raspin Flight Center. So we've been exploring flight in Mississippi since the Key brothers set the world record for in-air flight without interruption at Key Field in Meridian, Mississippi. We carry it on with our UAV, UAS Center of Excellence at Mississippi State University. The University of Mississippi, Ole Miss, as it's called, is the Center for Manufactured Excellence and Composite Material Research Center. Research and development. We were talking earlier about entrepreneurs. I love entrepreneurs. It's one thing I love about Israel. You've got a lot of entrepreneurs, so do we. But we like to make things. And so we do our research and development through our universities. We don't go out with a startup at Mississippi Development Authority and say we're going to incentivize you. We say go to one of our great universities, get with the staff there, and make sure that y'all are working together to develop this new product, and then we will help incentivize the university for that research model. University of Southern Mississippi, my undergraduate alma mater, Mississippi Polymer Institute. Polymers are going to change the world. They already have. This complex material is helping in aerospace. It's helping in automobile manufacturing. It's a lighter, stronger product than almost anything that we know, and they do a superior job at the University of Southern Mississippi. So you see, Mississippi has a proven track record for winning. These are just some of the companies that are home, that have a manufacturing facility, have a research and development center, make automobiles, PV electronics. You know, we're the birthplace of America's music. Yesterday, we went to a cafe that was an all Elvis Presley cafe. Kind of caught me by surprise. I walked in, there's a guy singing Jailhouse Rock. Sounded just like Elvis Presley. And I'm in Jerusalem. The PV electronics, more than likely, when Elvis was playing at the height of his popularity, he was using one of the amplifiers manufactured in Meridian, Mississippi, because he was born in Tupelo, Mississippi. Yeah, B.B. King, my dear friend, who helped become the king of the blues, Indianola, Mississippi. And Jimmy Rogers, the father of country music, was born and raised in Meridian, Mississippi. So all the genres of America's music came from this one place called Mississippi. We don't think that was an accident. We think God just looked down and said, these guys need music. These Americans are mad at each other, are fighting over different land problems, everything. They need a little music. Let's see, what have I got? Oh, Mississippi. Okay, let's put it there. We're so very proud to show the world that the manufacturing power of the United States, we believe, rests in Mississippi. You have to make things. You know, back in the 1980s, I can remember when everyone said, well, you know, the United States is just going to be a service country from now on. They're not going to make things anymore. Everyone else is going to make it, and they're going to probably just be servers. No, we don't believe that. We believe that, again, thanks to, I think, the leadership of President Trump with the tax cuts, but more importantly, the deregulation. You know, regulations can be such a barrier to you can't get started. You can't get your business open with the burdens of regulation that had taken place. Now we can get you permitted. We're number 5 in the nation for permitting. I don't know who the other 4 are. I wouldn't tell you if I knew it, but I can tell you we're number 5 in America for getting you there, getting you open, getting your workforce. Workforce training is something that we are doing each and every day at every level, beginning in child care. Beginning at child care. You know, when you come in about 7 weeks old, we're going to start teaching you to have a job. Now, not literally, but I'm telling you, we're training those daycare workers so that they can have an educational component in that child care center so that those children are prepared for early childhood education when they walk out the door and go to kindergarten. There's a great research study out there by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce called Education Today. It's called Workforce Today, Workforce of Tomorrow. Go online and get it. Workforce Today, Workforce of Tomorrow, U.S. Chamber of Commerce. You can see how workforce training has to start within the child care centers. And at the same time, the number one reason we found out that single moms aren't working, child care. They can't find a good, safe learning environment for their children. They can't work. So we spend $98 million a year funding child care in Mississippi. Take your child, take them to a good child care center, and then you go to a workforce training program. And then you can go find a good job, maybe making automobiles or warships. I don't know if you noticed, but some of those ladies, those master marine welders, women. Some of the best welders that have, and right, the head of the shipyard setting here to tell you some of the best welders that we have are master marine electricians, women. Make a good salary, they're living the American dream. So we're very proud of what we're able to do in Mississippi. I've got a couple of friends in Washington that I'm able to talk to on occasion. Donald J. Trump came to the state of Mississippi. He'll come back on the 26th of November for his 4th time. I don't want to be partisan here. I know some of you like him, some of you don't. But I can tell you this president is all about the economy. He is all about our relationship with Israel. Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, is a very dear friend of mine, and Ivanka. I talked to him not long ago when the tragedy occurred in Pittsburgh. The tragic attack there on the synagogue, and he said, Phil, I wish people would realize, and I think some of them do, his grandchildren are Jewish. His son-in-law is Jewish. His daughter is Jewish. Think about that. So he understands how important this relationship is, as does Jared. And when I left Washington last, about a week ago, I told him I was coming to Israel. You could just see the sparkle in his eyes. He smiled broadly and said, please tell them we're thinking about them. This was at the time before the agreement, and there was threatening clouds on the horizon for Israel, and he said, please tell them we're thinking about them, and tell them we are with them. I saw a T-shirt yesterday. We were in the old city, and it said, don't worry, America, Israel's behind you. I should have bought one. We were too busy. They were pushing me along. But I'd love to take Jared one of those, maybe take the president one of those. I'd go back. We came here today to spend a few minutes with you just to show you a little bit about our state and tell you how much we care about the relationship with Israel, whether we continue to do business or not, and I think we will. That we want to do all that we can to make sure that this nation continues to grow and help lead the world in innovations in information technology systems, that you are doing so, that you are the stabilizing force within the Middle East. Without Israel, where would we be? This entire portion of the world would be ablaze. You can't imagine how deeply caring the American people are about this nation and your future. Many of us that went to what we call Sunday school as a child, and we were in Sunday school, we heard remarkable stories from the Bible. And one of those stories was about a giant, and he was an awful mean giant. And he was in a valley, and he was threatening Israel. And he was calling down, send down your warriors. And they did. And a young man came down with a sling and ended that fight. From those days as a child, we all understood about the Israeli people, how brave and powerful you can be and how you continue to take on giants. I know from time to time it seems like Israel is still in that valley, but I want you to know the United States and Mississippi is standing there with you. Thank you for having me. God bless you.